Hi everybody, it's Susie. Welcome back to my craft room. And I wanted to show you we got 6 little projects that we're going to be working on for this day 2 of honoring Gi Kerr. And I will be using her techniques and her papers for the most part. Sometimes I will be using just regular coffee dyed paper. So I just want to kind of show you what we're going to be working on. We're going to be making these very easy, simple envelopes. And of course this has a little journaling card in it, that I'll just tuck in there when we get done. So that's project number 1. You can make these any size you want to. If you have scrap paper, you can use full-size pieces of paper. So anyway, this is project number 1. And I think this is just absolutely adorable. This is a tag envelope. And it's just folded up, and of course you can use whatever size pieces you want to. It's just absolutely folded up, made a flap to fold down, and then this piece right here cut into a tag shape with a little hole, making it look like a tag. So I just thought that was just adorable. And then once we embellish these, I think you're really going to like the looks of this. And then we are going to make an envelope just made out of a junk mail envelope. And it makes 3 or 4 pockets. So we're going to fold this up in such a way where we have inside of the envelope, we can put a journaling card. This folded up piece, we can, I hope I didn't glue it in. We can put a little journaling card. And then in this pocket, made a little tri-fold that you can write in. So I just think that's adorable. Then, depending on how you want to place this in your journal, you may want to glue it down on 3 sides, any 3 sides, and use it as another pocket. Or you may want to put a little strip back here and then attach it to your journal that way, so you have a little flippy up and you have more journaling space, or you can decorate this, with your papers. Then we're going to use some tiny little tags, or actually not tiny, small, and a tiny one just together. And actually I punched a hole in the envelope, which is not what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put a piece of lace or fabric up here and then attach my pen to that. But that is so adorable, and it's so quick and easy. It doesn't matter if you're using a window envelope because we're going to cover them anyway, so whatever junk mail envelope you have will be just fine. And then this one is an adorable flower pot envelope. Once it's decorated, y'all are just going to absolutely fall in love with this. As you can see, it's got the flower pot shape. This lifts up, and I haven't glued this down yet, and then you can put a journaling card in there. So adorable. And then this right here is going to be flowers all attached to this to make the embellishments absolutely a thing of beauty when it is finished. So I am so excited to share this with y'all. And this would like be paper clipped in or something, because if you actually attach this to your journal, when you flip this up, it is going to fold your flowers. So that's something that you kind of want to paper clip in or stick in a pocket. When Gi did it, she actually put it in a pack pocket or pocket pack. And let me kind of demonstrate. We'll pretend that's not on here. And it was kind of a pocket pack like this. And when she put it on here, she had the flap overlap like that. And it had some lace, and of course all flower, and absolutely a thing of beauty. So I think you're going to enjoy that too. And then, talk about easy way to decorate your journaling pages. This is just like your plain coffee dyed paper, and then you put a template on here. You ink around with the template still there. You stamp around, and then you have all this journaling space. You can use any shapes you want, any sizes you want. You can use multiple sizes. But if you don't have decorative paper, or if you just want another way to give your papers another look, I love this. And I'm actually going to do this on a lot of the pages in the little journal that we made to go into our pocket pack. Excuse me. And here's another example. And I just did this with a heart template, and then some distress ink and some rose stamps. And of course, whatever ink you whatever color you want to use, you can use. I just had the vintage photo handy, and so I just used that, and then I stamped, of course, with Stays On, and I just love how that turns out. I think that just makes the most fabulous pages. And the reason that I went so dark is because my coffee dye was dark, and I really wanted to give that definition around. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gone that dark, but I think it looks quite nice. And then y'all are going to love, love, love this. Look at this cute little pen holder. You can stick this in a pocket. You can add when you're making this, you can add a paper clip, so it'll paper clip onto a page or onto the front of your journals. I just think this is the neatest little idea. So I wanted to share that with you today on how to do these 6 little projects. All of these are designed by Gi Kerr. And of course that's, who we're honoring. So let's get started with our first little project. And it is going to make and decorate an envelope. Again, you can make this whatever size that you want to. And I'm actually going to cut this down because when this is folded up, that is too long for me. So I just want to trim that down a little bit. And I think I'm going to cut it there so I can keep that word love. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And of course, I keep all my scraps. Alright, and so now, again, remember the orientation of your page, because once we fold this, whatever's there is going to, go the other direction. This particular case, I don't care. So now, I'm just going to fold this up a little bit past halfway. Yeah, my bone folder's missing. I'm probably the only person I know who loses things sitting in the same spot. And then I'm going to take this flap, and I'm going to leave some space right here so that you can get things in and out a whole lot easier. So just a little bit of space, and then I'm going to fold that down. And voila, you have a very, very simple envelope. I mean, so simple. So now I'm just going to take my 1-inch punch and make a little thumb hole. Again, it's kind of cute, plus it makes, things easier to get in and out. And just kind of eyeball the center, and about half a circle is all you want to do. And punch that out, and when it's glued down, you have, a cute little thumb hole there. So now I'm just going to glue down my edges, if I can get the glue open. I've had glue issues all day. I mean, the struggle has been extremely real. Even my little precision little glue thing is giving me issues. It's just like bubbling out the top, kind of like the Fabri-Tac does, or the 3-in-1 glue, it's kind of volcano effect, and I cannot even imagine why. So I'm just going to glue these edges down right here. Make sure that they stick really, really good. And that's all there is to it. So now if we have time later, and see, that turned out pretty, even though the orientation is sideways. I don't mind that, because I will probably either attach that into a journal, so that you won't see the back, which I like the back, or be able to paper clip it in. And if it's paper clipped in like that, then the design is kind of going to be the right way. So, keep all that in mind when you're making your stuff. So now I'll just make a little journaling card, and actually I could probably take, no, that's be too short. Just, any of your scraps or, decorative papers, make some journaling cards to stick down in there. Write somebody a nice little letter if they're getting the journal, stick it down in there, and that is so easy. And so, depending on how much time we have, we'll come back and decorate that. Alright, so that cannot be any easier. So the next one, yep, remember what I said about losing things just sitting here? That would be me. Okay, the next one is going to be this envelope tag tutorial. And so what we're going to do is you can use any piece of your copy paper, coffee dyed, tea stained, whatever you want to do with that. And then we're going to take and we're going to fold this in half, long side to long side, like this. Now, if you're using cardstock, go ahead and cut it in half. If you're using plain copy paper like I am, you know what, that glue is so thick. Let me try this one. This is some of my homemade glue. And I got this one just a little bit thin. That's okay, it works great. And I like, instead of just putting the glue down, I don't care what bottle it is, I like to spread mine out. Because I don't like those big globs of, lines of glue underneath. And particularly since, I'm going to be, using this and folding this over onto itself to kind of make a double thickness paper. I like to kind of spread that out like that. And that way I don't have any big globs. But you glue it however you want to. And I did want to mention that I have a wipe that I just wash out over and over again. But I make it damp. And then I just put my little thing in there and cover it up. Not even tightly, just cover it up so that it will keep my little sponge thing from drying out. So then you just want to fold this over. Alright. Let that dry for just a second. And this will actually make 2. No, it won't. I'm sorry, I was working on the wrong one. I'm so sorry. Alright, so I'm going to fold this bottom piece up, about a third of the way up. Maybe not quite a third, but about a third of the way up. I'm going to crease that real well. And then I'm going to fold down the top. You don't want to take it all the way down, but, just leave a little bit of space. Now, you're going to go about, I don't know, ½ inch or so, and fold this back on itself. Like, kind of want to line up your sides so you kind of get a little even fold. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to embellish these and you'll cover up any imperfections. Okay, and then now, I want to take and cut this off some. I don't need this flap that long. So, you know what, I can't cut a straight line if it would save my life. That is the truth. So, you can leave that long if you want to. I just want to take a little bit off. Look at here, I'm going the wrong direction. I hate this cutter. Mine, I could not get replacement blades for it. I mean, not online, not at the stores, nowhere. I tried to order it, at the stores and go pick it up. That wasn't happening. I couldn't find it anywhere online, so I ended up buying a replacement cutter until I could get another one. Okay, so now we have that folded. We have this folded down, that folded up, and now we're going to fold this back down. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, it would be a great time to, distress your edges or whatever, but I like to cut my little tag shape out first before I distress, or else I'm going to have to go back and distress that. And of course, the piece that I cut off, I'm going to flip it over and put it over here to cut so that my cuts are somewhat the same, so you don't end up with a cattywampus looking tag. Okay, I also like to go ahead and punch my hole in here before I distress. Yeah, I promise I had all of my tools right here. And, oh, nope, that's not it. Oh, here we go. And this is still kind of wet, so it's going to be a little more difficult. And just put your little hole in there, just like you would for a tag. And then you're going to want to glue this little edge down. So Just put you a little bit of glue. You can get it out your bottle. Alright, so we're going to put that little bit of glue right there. Glue that down really good. Okay, and then I'm going to have to cut this off some because I made it too long. Oh, Lord, God help me. Okay, kind of straight-ish. Nope, not even straight-ish. But I knew I couldn't cut a straight line. I don't even know why I tried. Okay, so now I have that folded up. That'll fold down on it. Now you can put a thumb hole here if you so choose to do that, or not. Now if you're going to sew, before you glue, before you do anything else, before you, put your sides down, you may want to go ahead and sew around, your top and, around the edge. I would, actually before I glued that, I would sew all around that, and then I would glue that down, maybe sew across there, and that way your underneath thread, is on the bottom. If you don't care, that's fine with me. And then we're going to glue the edges of this together, and then that makes your little ticket envelope. I wish my little precision bottle wasn't acting up, because I would sure use that so I could leave a little more room inside of my envelope. Well, guess what? I used the wipe that I had my little foam thing in. I'll try to keep that over here. And so now we're just going to let that dry. And then, of course, depending on the time, we will come back and decorate it. So that one is that. Just like I showed you here. And on this one, obviously, the flap is longer. It's this. I left more room, obviously, which I like better than the one that I just did. So, use whatever size papers you want to. Just keep in mind what size you want this to be once it's folded up. And that is super, super cute. You can tie ribbon or twine or whatever on there before you glue it down. You can glue it down on 3 sides, make a pocket, or you can glue it and make a pocket here. However you want to put it in there. And then, of course, you want to cut some journaling cards and stick them in there. So that is super cute. All right, the next project that we have is going to be the 1 envelope, 3 pockets. Now, on this one, you just want to use a junk mail envelope. If you don't have a piece of junk mail, you can make your own envelope. All you want to do is kind of fold it to, about the size of this. Of course, and then you would just glue your sides down. That's all there is to it. Nothing big, because we're fixing to cut this off. Alright, so let me get a little handy dandy backwards trimmer here. And I'm going to line this up. Now, we want to take it down to here, to this strip here, because we don't want any of that. And so, I'm going to try to line this up with this little mark here and cut that off. And did a pretty good job on that one. Okay, see, sometimes I can't even cut a straight line with a cutter. So, what we want to do is we want to think about how big our journaling cards are going to be for our piece that is going to be tucked in here. So, kind of figure that out. That one's too big, but we'll just say, this size, or maybe even, down to here. Maybe it'll be that size. Let's see. That could work. And then you want a journaling card that will go in here. So you want to keep that in mind when you fold this piece up, that you want to leave enough space for this, and then you want to leave enough space to stick a tag in there. So we're just going to go with this like that. Now, what you do want to do is you want to check to make sure that whatever flaps are left right here, that you stick a little bit of glue in those. You want those glued down really good. Oh, that was special. Okay. And over here, the same thing. Most envelopes aren't made very well, and so you end up with some little flappy things. Okay, so I have that folded up, and now I'm going to glue right down the edge, or actually down these edges, and I'm going to fold this up. And what that does is it's going to give us a pocket here, and then a pocket here. So we just kind of want to be easy with the glue on the edges, if I can get it to come out easy. It doesn't seem like my glue's coming out easy today at all in any of my little bottles. I ended up with a volcano in the 3-in-1. Y'all know how that's working out. I don't know why. It just seems like it's changed. I don't remember it doing that up until the last month or so. I guess these, newer bottles that I bought. And it is aggravating. Okay. Actually, I wanted to cover that before I did that. All right. Let me back up a little bit. All right. So find your decorative papers and cover the front. And you don't need to come, all the way down to here, because this is going to cover up to here. So figure out whatever decorative papers that you want to use. Let's see. That's quite pretty. So let's go. Let me mark this to here. I know watching somebody cut's kind of like watching hair grow, but it's the only way that I know how to show you what I'm doing. Okay. And then I want this to cover a part of this, and we know that that flap comes up there. So as long as it's, somewhere in here, and I'm just going to tear that off, because I'm not going to be able to see it anyway. All right. Uh-oh. If I wanted my glue to stick, it wouldn't, and now that I don't want it to stick, it is. All right, so I'm just going to glue this. I should put the glue on this. I'll put the glue on this. And again, I'm going to use my little spongy tool, because I don't like the big wads of glue underneath it. Put this on here. Uh-oh, something fell. Wrong way. You know what? I think it, nope, it goes this way. And I don't mind that little torn edge up there. I kind of like it, actually. So, gives a little character. Alright, so, glue that down. Rub it down real good. Okay. And then if I need to, I can trim off the edges. Probably best to wait for that to dry a little bit, but for demonstration purposes, we're just going to go ahead and cut that off. Okay, I think I need a little, now see, it just comes flying out of there again. Okay, so now you can get a piece and cut it and put it on there. And that kind of goes with it. So I think I am going to use that. So I just want to take this little edge off the bottom. Believe it or not, I did not plan this paper. It just kind of is working out that I can match that up pretty good. And then I need it to be about this tall. Okay, and now I'm going to mark that right there. Trim that off. Okay, now I want to glue this back down, these edges. Please glue behave. Oh, I knew it wouldn't. try this, see if it's going to act right. I guess if I take the pen out, it might. Yeah, that's better. Much, much better. Alright, let's take that off. And since this is acting better, Lord have mercy. I guess I'm so nervous I could thread a running sewing machine shaking like that. Okay, so now we have these edges, or these sides, glued down. So we're going to have a pocket here. Now we're going to cover this up. How pretty. Also, by using my little foam sponge, I make sure that I get it all the way to the edges, and that just helps it hold it in place a little better, you know, and you don't have to keep going around and re-gluing the edges. Now, if you have a little bit of your white envelope showing, don't worry about it. You can distress it. I should have distressed this envelope before I started gluing down, but it's okay. I can, you know, stick some paper or something, you know, right there and distress it, and everything will be just lovely. And so if you have a little extra white here, you know, I can distress that as well. So, you know, it all works out fine. Now you get to decide what you're going to do about the back. Are you going to glue it down, you know, on 3 sides so you have another pocket, or do you want to have it where it'll flip in your journal? Well, if you want it to flip, just get your little scrap piece of paper. You know, you want it a little bit thicker. Oh, that'll work. It's a little bit too wide. Don't need it quite that wide. Could have left it that wide. It really wouldn't have mattered. And I'm just going to fold this in half. And the reason you want, you know, some cardstock or, you know, doubled up paper is because, you know, this is going to be, you know, where it folds and unfolds. And if you do it so many times, then just regular paper gets a little bit weak. So if you're going to use it, you know, as something to do like this, you want to attach this first. Let's put a little bit of glue on there. On one side, just one side only. Something like that. Okay, now you have another decision to make. Do you want to cover the back, you know, so it's got decoration on it, or do you just want to put some coffee dyed paper and leave it for a journaling spot? But this, by putting something on there, it covers this up, and that just looks so pretty. And I'm not sure, you know, what I'm going to do with it yet, so I'm not going to cover this right now. But, you know, it'll attach to your page, and that just makes an absolutely beautiful thing. And then you have your 3 pockets. Let me just borrow the pieces out of here. So you have a pocket here. You have a pocket here in the part of the envelope that you folded up. And then you're going to have a pocket here. And this has the little trifold booklet. Very, very easy to make. You can use any size that you want to. That'll be a little bit small. Just kind of looking through my scraps here. That's going to be a little bit short. That's too thin. Let's see. Alright, let's just get another piece of paper. And I want it to be about right there. But it's going to have to be tripled because it's going to be a trifold little booklet. So about here. So I'm going to fold that over nice and evenly. And then I'm going to fold it over again. I'm going to cut off the excess.